juices start flowing. You get around, the rest of the guys. It's a different experience, and that's what we love as basketball players. So to start training camp, have like a structure to work in terms of how we're gonna get better as a team, and this accelerated timeline we're on, with what 15 days or whatever till opening night. So I'm excited about where I feel my body is and how I can build from here and hit the ground running this season.
What do you think the effects are going to be of not having James and Draymond to start camp?
I mean, it is what it is right now. We have to understand that, especially Draymond, he'll be able to plug in extremely quickly. In terms of the mental and understanding what we do and how we do it and what he brings to the table. Hopefully, he can catch up physically in terms of the work that needs to be put in. But James will be a situation where we kind of just see where he's at, and I think he's chomping at the bit to get out there and practice, and he's gonna have to learn a lot on the fly, like we talked about before. But we hopefully he's capable of doing that, and once we get to a couple good practices, a couple preseason games, and see where he's at, we'll assess everything from there.
Have you been on like Zoom calls or had conversations with James? Because obviously right now he's kind of probably sitting there trying to, I guess, get the system in his mind without actually having been able to implement it.
Not much. I mean, I talked to him a couple weeks ago when I saw him in person before we started prepping for training camp. So talked to him a couple of times just about what to expect, how we're how we see him, gelling and adjusting to our team and what he's going to bring to the table, trying to just get his mind right. But a lot of that work will be done again on the fly as we all kind of build and get to know each other.
Marcus Thompson with The Athletic. I had a question about your eligibility for a contract extension. Do you plan on signing it?
We have conversations. I mean, everything's on the table right now. I know just in terms of everything I talked about being a warrior and what the future holds. Obviously, fully committed on what that is, and understanding that I got to do what's right for me and the team, and having those conversations. I feel blessed to be in that position where I can say that and truly believe it. So it's a matter of just letting things kind of play out the way that they should, and that's kind of where we're at right now.
Do you prefer more long-term security locked in soon, or are you just like, I mean, you mentioned right there that you're committed to the Warriors long-term, but maybe is there reasons why not to sign it now?
Not really. It's just more understanding what the landscape is and what the situation is going in the future. We want to be competitive. We want to be in a situation where we're competing for championships every single year. I want to be a part of that, and that's the goal.
Hi, Steph. Jeannie McCauley from AP. Good to see you. Um, Steph, Andrew Wiggins said the other day, I need to do more. I need to take my game to another level and do more with Clay out and just his second, I guess his first full season in the system, but being able to play with you a little more. What are you seeing just out of the gate from Andrew and his determination to take it up a notch even, and how much are you looking forward to playing with him regularly?
I'm excited about it. I know for him, there's been a lot of conversations, especially coming out of the trade last year, and this off season. I know he's probably heard a lot of the noise on where he fits in our long-term plan, or if he's going to get moved, or all the other nonsense. I've always been in the camp of he has so much to prove in terms of taking that next step in his career and organization, and with the potential that we all have, and kind of unlocking some things that will help us become a winning basketball team, and him having a huge part in that. So for him, it's the theme of just get better, commit to what's going to get us as a team to the next level, and where he can really show his value and his ability out there on the floor and kind of put all the doubters to rest. And I think he has a huge opportunity to do that this year, and I'm excited about. I know he's put in a lot of work this summer. He looks good, coming into camp, and it's one of those things where he's averaged 20 something a game for his career. He knows how to put the ball in the basket. I think defensively, he's going to show a lot about his potential in terms of being an all defensive type of guy, and we expect that from him.
You guys got to get in some full scrimmaging. Steve said you guys got to go up and down the court, some 5-on-5 today. And what did that mean to you day one to, let it go a little bit and knowing the protocols and there will be some restrictions, but able to get that work in?
It's most necessary at this point. I mean, we play on Saturday, so it's not a situation where you can kind of tiptoe into it. I think obviously we want to be safe. And smart about how we build up, but we've been doing individual workouts, it seems like, for a whole year. So to be able to just play, get up and down, be basketball players and not just, robots doing workouts, that's helpful. And, we'll have a good week this week and then be able to play some, another team on Saturday and kind of get a gauge of where we're at and then reassess for next week. So it's just fun to shake the cobwebs off, and we know this is just weird all the way around, but you got to keep everything in perspective.
Thank you,
Steph. Whenever you as you think about this contract decision, whenever you sign it, it's going to take you into 37, 38. Has the time off made you feel any different about how long you want to play? Did the time off maybe add time to it since you only played like 5 games in a certain span? Do you feel like you go longer, 45, 50 maybe?
You try to make my wife real angry at me right now. I think about when we play. I've always put like this weird artificial. I always play 16 years because my dad played 16 years in the league, and that was always the goal. So now it's just more so listen to your body, and who knows, you can't predict the future, but I've always said I want to play for as long as I can play at the level that I want to be at, and hopefully you can be in that position where you end it on your own terms. So whatever that means, hopefully that is closer to 40. But at the end of the day, to your point, I'm blessed to be in this position, and hopefully the conversation every year as I do get into that age, you see other guys in the league that are always, at the, in that conversation of compete for championships. That's what you want to hold on to for as long as you can.
Steph, you mentioned a couple times, wanting to compete every year long term. Do you like what the Warriors did this summer, building around you? And do you like where this is heading?
I mean, from what we were last year to, a lot of the offseason conversations about getting the best team together. Obviously Clay going down was extremely tough. I think we made some really, really solid moves in free agency, obviously drafting Wiseman. And, I like where we're at. I know you guys can analyze the salary cap sheet and look at, what, decisions might be in the future, but for what we have right now, I love where we're at. I love the fact that we I think have enough pieces, enough talent, and enough experience to surprise a lot of people and this year and try to compete at the top of the West, see what happens. And then every summer, this NBA is crazy. This is a league of change now. And so who knows what the conversation will be, 8, 10, 12 months from now. But it's kind of a situation where you have to kind of, as a player, you can think about it, but you got to stay in the moment or else you're cheating yourself. And that's how we approach it.
Steph, this is Wes Goldberg, Bay Area News Group. It sounds like you yourself have taken a look at that salary cap. That's not something that all players do. Seems like you're aware of where you guys are pretty closely. Is that something you always pay attention to, the salary cap, or is that something you picked up along the way?
I mean, more so lately, when you start winning championships, it's really hard to stay at that level, especially, um, when you're trying to sign free agents, you're trying to get, the best talent around. So I'm aware of it. I don't study the CBA like a book, but, you understand some of the decisions that go into putting the best, team out there, and some of the hard decisions from the front office. So for what we got, again, love where we're at. I think once you understand what the full team is, I don't think about it anymore. It's just, let's go play basketball.
Stephen, we had Kelly on the other day, and he sounded like he's eager to kind of just learn from you, go under your wing. What are the things you want to try and get across to him about being with this franchise?
I mean, for him, mostly is just continue to be who he is. I think he said a lot of good things around his perspective on just figuring it out at the level that he wants to be at. And he's extremely talented. He's extremely athletic. He has a lot of versatility on both ends of the floor. But being with an organization, again, that can hopefully usher out the best of him, and being around guys that in the culture that we have, we've had a good run of unlocking, a different side of players once they come here. And so I think he wants to, and he has that drive of wanting to be great and bringing that toughness, that edge that is who he is. There's nothing we're trying to change about him. It's just, kind of leveling up. And so it comes with the culture, it comes with the structure, it comes with the guys in our locker room. And I've enjoyed being around him so far. It's been really cool personally and professionally, in terms of, things he has going on in his life off the court too. It's pretty awesome to watch that evolution, and just getting to know him in that respect. So I like the addition that he brings to the locker room.
Steph, I know you want to stay in the moment, but now that we're here on this contract extension talk, how often do you think about staying in the same jersey, having the jersey retired, having the statue outside, as you figure out what you want to do for your future?
The only thing of those things I probably just think about, just obviously wearing the same jersey for as long as I can. I think that's a huge goal, for sure. It's an elite club that of guys that you look at that have played with the same organization and been successful and achieved greatness in that respect. So that would be an awesome accomplishment, something that I've obviously spoken publicly about and very committed to. But that also goes with, there's a lot more to be accomplished on the court. And again, I can't fast forward to what the end is going to be and not enjoy the moment, enjoy the challenges that we have in front of us and what I have left to accomplish as a player. So, we'll see what happens. I won't be changing my number or doing anything like that, trying to recreate my career. It's just, let's just play basketball and continue to try to, achieve greatness.
Steph, over the years, we've talked a lot about you defending, whether it's point guards or off the ball. And now Clay is out, and Steve wants to turn up the D. Do you look forward to being kind of the spear, the tip of the spear of this kind of pressure defense to get the team out and run? You feel like you have that in you?
I do my job, man. That's whether people recognize it or not, or whether I'm gonna get. I don't ever want to get celebrated for my defense, but I do my job and know exactly what I need to do to hold up my end of the bargain on that end of the floor. With Kelly, Wiggs, Draymond, Loon, Bazemore, Wanamaker, we have some guys that know what to do on that end of the floor. It's my job to take those challenges, take those matchups, and just compete and bring effort. I think that's one thing about me on that end of the floor is it's all about effort. It's about consistency and just a want to kind of be in the right place at the right time. So definitely up for that challenge. Definitely understand what it's going to take for us to be a top 10 defensive team. Understand that the history of me with 4 other amazing defenders is they're probably gonna try to go at me, and I'm ready for those matchups and those situations though to again just do my job. So you gotta vote for all defensive team one time, maybe just out of sympathy. It'd be great. Thank you. I'm begging.
Is it something that like you no longer care that people would say that, are you to the point in your career where it's like whatever, or do you still want people to see that? Because I remember there was a time where you were like, yo, I'm about to lock these people down, shut y'all up. That's done.
It's different because earlier I was terrible defensively. I was small, weak, and reached a lot, fouled a lot. And I've gotten a lot better. Whether I get that acknowledgement or not, I don't care, to your question. But then it became, you look at Clay, Andre, Katie, Draymond, of course they're going to try to pick up my defense. But right now, it's just, again, I do my job. I know when I'm locked in and when I'm not, and what that looks like and what I can impact on that end of the floor. And I got to live up to that expectation, and we'll be in good shape.
Playing 16 years? I mean, is that you?
I was just joking. No, I was just joking. I have a floating target on that for sure. And anytime I say I want to play up to 40, she'll definitely give me a little look. But It's just fun. It's just fun in games. Say what? Oh, they don't even know I play basketball.
What did your dad say?
Well, he's just kind of shocked that I'm already in year 12 as my dad. So realize how long he's been out of the game. He measures my career by how many years he's been retired. So that's more the shock of where he's at.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Steph. Sorry. This is Rich with Let's Go Warriors. We can see that you got the Curry brand all over you, and obviously the rollout is coming out real soon this Friday, but I was just wondering if you could give us, loyal local beat writers, any behind the scenes morsels on the process as well as the technology that, the general public isn't going to hear from you necessarily.
I mean, it's all the same in terms of how this all came to life and the excitement about, being in a position where I can release a brand and obviously, shoes I'm going to wear all year. But, I've had a lot of time in the off season to kind of dig in and be a part of that process. So it's something I'm extremely proud of. I'm excited to share with the world. And, on Saturday I get to rock them, in a preseason game first time. So, the business of basketball, the opportunities that have come out of the things that I've been able to accomplish on the court, this is a part of the story and the journey. So I'm excited about what that is, and hopefully people get to participate with me in the journey from here and into the future. So everything that you hear, everything that we tell and share is true for me and the process of bringing this to life. So looking forward to it.
When you guys were winning championships in that 5-year span there, you always had an idea of what your rotations were going to look like. You knew what the bench roles were. It's so different now. I mean, what are you looking forward to in terms of trying to integrate the guys on the team now versus what you had before, when you had pretty much set rotation guys and set bench guys that were mostly veterans?
I mean, the freshness of it is kind of cool because to your point, there is so much unknown, and there's going to be opportunity for guys to really assert themselves in these different roles, and the competitiveness across the board, up and down the depth chart is going to be solid. We're all in it together. We're all trying to win, but the freshness of kind of solidifying a new look and the challenge of what that is, and the daily kind of commitment that you got to have to kind of see that out. To your point, like training camp before was kind of just getting in shape. Now it's more so we got to do that, and we got to figure out, who needs to be where, what sets are going to be our bread and butter, defensive chemistry and communication, everything that makes a team great. there's a sense of urgency to it. So I told Coach Curry, like, sometimes I kind of can drift off and just be in my own world. It makes it so much easier to focus on, like, the details because it's all that important. So, you can win a lot of different ways, and we've had a lot of different experiences from, the early days to that, that 5-year window to now. And that's part of the beauty of the NBA, being in all of those different things and still trying to win. So I'm excited about the freshness of what that looks like.
A few years ago, you led the league in steals. How hard was that?
Tell Marcus that he asked that question about my defense. Did you hear that, Marcus? I led the league in steals for 1 year, your whole year. I know, man. That was yeah. No, I just be in the right place, at the right time, using IQ and quickness and all that type of stuff. So I have to do a lot of that this year.
It was 2015-16, by the way.
Great year. Until the end.
Had a down year last year, and for understandable reasons, particularly once you went out with injury. What do you expect out of him mentally this season, physically, just everything from Draymond?
To be his self, like the down year last year. We all had a down year last year across the board, whether it's injuries or whether it's just the difference of what we're used to. So for him, he's going to be that defensive presence and monster that we expect him to be. I know he's been, working on his game on the offensive end, expanding his range. He's always a great playmaker with the ball in his hands, finding the open guy, putting pressure on bigs to guard him downhill. And, again, you talk about a guy that just knows what the conversation is around, who he is as a player and what the expectations are. I'm sure he's keeping the receipts too. So it's just a matter of, him being himself and going out and playing, and being the anchor for us that we need him to be every single night.
You had any of those conversations with him about, like you said, the conversation around him?
I mean, off and on, we talk about a lot of stuff, but it's more so the excitement about, again, being back with me and him.